Welcome to Outboard Motorbike. Having got this far, the next job is to strip that bike frame and chop it in half. Here we are about an hour later with the wheels removed, forks removed, most of the rear suspension removed. I can't actually get the rear swing arm out because the bolt's seized in the frame, but we'll deal with that later. And you probably recall the Harley gearbox being in the right place there, ready for the bevel drive to go over the top of it. And the spirit level is marking the position where we're about to cut the frame in half, so we can make it longer. And there it is, the front half of the frame lopped off, and the rear half of the frame still with the swing arm attached. So the next job is to measure it up, make the plate that goes on the back of the engine, and extend the whole thing by about 300mm to make space for a 2.5 litre two-stroke V6 in the middle. And just to show that I haven't been doing nothing while we're waiting for gearbox parts to be machined, that's the 3 brake calipers restored. They were pretty manky. Got all the paint off, they got new pistons and seals and all the steel bits replated in zinc. They'll be ready to go on when the time comes. The other opportunity that presents itself now that we've got the frame cut in half is to offer the front half of the frame up to the inverted engine. Sort of like so. Now, I don't know if the good folk at Mercury had any idea that someone was going to stick their 2.5 litre two-stroke V6 upside down in a motorbike, but it fits remarkably well. So looks like we're in good shape there. Here's the back half of our frame, inverted. You can see where it's been lopped off here and up here. And as we need to bolt it back together at some stage of the game, my preferred way of doing that is to make this little step bush with a flange on it. You make thread up the middle, and a little subtle feature there, the middle part of that face is recessed, so that when you bolt up to it, the load's taken around the outside, which makes the whole thing stiffer and stronger and better. That pops in there and gets welded around, and that's the beginning of bolting the bike back together. There'll be another bolt out here, but we'll get to that later. The drawing you can hopefully see there is of a big chunk of 10mm aluminium plate that joined the engine to the frame. Engine goes there, top of the frame's there, bottom of the frame's down here, and as if by magic, there's the piece of plate itself, water jet cut out of 10mm 5083 aluminium, which allows us to get on and adapt the frame to the mounting points. And at the top, this little bit of 5mm by 40mm plate we weld to the frame and bolt to the plate. Where we go. And here's our bit of plate welded to the back half of the frame, using that little bit of flat bar that we talked about, saw before, and 2 little bobbins at the bottom. There's half a frame, half a bike, whatever. The truly exciting bit coming up next is going to be taking it off the frame and seeing whether it fits the back of the engine. All those holes down there. And here's the same bit of plate now attached to the back of the power head, which gives us the opportunity to put the front half of the frame on, and they will eventually sandwich what will be known as a sandwich plate. We'll have a complete frame. Moving along to the front half of the frame, which needs to locate around the front of the engine there somewhere. I know roughly where it needs to go, but to position it in the right place fore and aft and at the right angle and left and right and square and true is a bit of a challenge, but the universe has been quite nice to us here and given us a bit of a gift, as I'll show you. If you recall our drawing of the sandwich plate, the sandwich plate runs like this. There's the exhaust ports at the back of the engine. The existing Suzuki frame tube, lower frame tube, runs along there, and I need to move it out here to miss the spark plugs. And the position of that relative to that, if they're both 1 inch square, or 25mm square, which they are, there's a 5mm gap between them. If we go back and look at the frame, here's the front half of the frame as we saw a minute ago. And the nice folk at Suzuki, I assume completely unknowingly, put these two little 8mm bushes here, which are about 5mm long. So if we get a bit of 25mm square tube, we can bolt it on there with a couple of 8mm bolts. It's in exactly the right place. Pop that in the end of it so we can bolt it to the plate, and we have the beginnings of a chassis positioning jig. And there we have it, our bit of frame with the two extensions bolted on. And for my entertainment as much as anybody else's, I'll put the carburetor on there and clears the alternator assembly by a centimetre or so. And with it like that, we can, I can, get on and join that bit to that bit, and see what happens after that.